Okay, maybe I just start right now. Um, Hello guys, good evening everyone. My name is Syarlafi Akmalia. You can call me Syarla. And now I will doing my live presentation today. So maybe I just start right now. So firstly, I will explain the summary of this series. Oh, by the way, the series that I choose is The Penthouse. Um Actually, The Penthouse, there are 3 seasons, but today I just choose season 1. So, okay, The Penthouse is about the family that resides in Hera Place, a luxurious apartment complex where only curious wealthy live. The elitism isn't over yet, actually, because each floor of Hera Place represents the tenant's social position. Like, the higher your apartment unit, the more respectable you are. A brutal fight breaks out between 5 families as they compete for the penthouse, a two-story apartment at the very top of Hera Place. Many more difficulties arise along the road, turning the battle for the penthouse into a battle for the parents to maintain their jobs and safeguard their children. Shimsurian and her unscrupulous investment business director, spouse Judante, live in the penthouse together. Chon Seo-jin is a first opera singer and instructor at Chonga Art School. Meanwhile, Uyuni is a poor single mother who lives outside of Hera Place but whose life was shattered many years ago by Sojin Achonga. As she tries to send her daughter there, their paths meet once more. And then I will explain how does this series relates to psychology. Little is known about Jurante's upbringing, except the fact that his father is one of the richest men in Japan. At the beginning of the story, we see Jurante having an exaggerated sense of self-importance in the way he carries himself and his children. He would not accept any value and desire his children to be the best in anything and everything that they do. That comes from a result of his desire to possess the best of everything in his life, including wanting his children to be the best. At the very start, Durante exhibits strong traits characteristics of someone with narcissistic personality disorder. Rather than a mental illness, it is more like a condition in which the person in question has an exaggerated, inflated sense of self importance, the need to always be the center of attention and admiration, and the lack of empathy or guilt for others. Whether this is a result of his upbringing or his greed and desires that drove him to be who he is remains questionable. By the time it's season 1, I can for sure say that he does have NPD because his thoughts towards the idea of money and power are highly unhealthy and inflexible, and it affects his emotions and the way he reacts to every situation. First up, let's focus on Durante's exaggerated and inflated sense of self-importance. When Shimsurian breaks off their supposed engagement, his anger is unwarranted and somewhat overbroad, especially for someone who didn't love her. It came to the point he murdered her then violence and manipulated her into being with him like In a particular episode, he mentioned to Shim Suryan he felt betrayed. She left him for an insignificant guy. We can see the value that he holds himself is higher than Suryan's fiance, and he got angry to the extent of being capable to commit murder. Those with NPD feel an illogical sense of superiority compared to others that they would react with rage when they perceive they lost to anyone. This is often them subconsciously feeling insecure, shame, vulnerable, and humiliated by the other party. Another instance we can reference is the way he got angry when Logan Lee repeatedly refused to meet him, as if Logan Lee is obligated to meet him. He had an inexplicable amount of anger when refused. Those with NPD expect special favors from others and often wish others to do whatever they want with unquestioning compliance towards their expectation without seeing the need to understand and comply with others' needs and circumstances. Uh, this brings us the second part, the need for excessive attention and admiration is one of the main traits of MPD, with varying symptoms, which Durante exhibited in all of it. Those with NPD are often overly occupied with the fantasies and ideas of success, power, brilliance, and the perfect mate. Their desire for what's best in life is endless and wouldn't stop until they get the best of everything, even if it means destroying or stealing what others have. For most of his marriage, Suryan, his wife has been dutiful to him, but we can see that their relationship remains very polite and somewhat distant. To him, Suryan was the idea of the perfect and best wife in the eyes of others. She's beautiful, smart, and elegant, the eye of envy of many. On top of that, her family is prestigious in Korea too. So despite her physical presence, never he never felt he truly had her, especially with her politeness and distantness from him. She was unable to satisfy his inner ego and desire for attention and admiration. Her love for Ju Hee-in, her non-biological daughter, doesn't make things better as it reminded him of how he lost to someone else. So when Sojin came into his life, and they started a love affair. We see how she was able to satisfy his need for attention and vice versa. In a particular episode, we can see Dr. Ha, Sojin's husband, casually mentioning to Dante and Kyujin about his plans with his wife Sojin that night, saying that they will be having a dinner date that night. The moment Dante heard this, he messaged Sojin telling her that he wanted to meet her and added an I love you sentence in it and need to prove his self-worth and desire for love to manipulate her to abandon her date with her husband to look for him. This is primarily to fulfill his sense of entitlement and ego that he won the guy with, he perceives as inferior to him. The way he has no guilt or empathy in taking the lives of many is shown in the drama. Nothing much is to describe his inability to feel any form of remorse towards the deaths of many characters. However, this can clearly be shown that towards his children, he too lacks empathy for them. He is already to defend and show impatience the moment someone shows any signs of defying anything he says or overriding his authority. Being around someone with NPD requires a high level of Iki, like Suryon or Sukhon, his son, to be able to deliver what they want to say or need to say as factually as possible, because a person with NPD often perceives insults even when it's not the other party's intention and react violently angry towards it. NPD may or may not come along with depression, especially when the person doesn't have the ideal perfection they desire. NPD can also come to a point the subject in a question becomes a highly dangerous person like Judante. So that's that's all that I that's all. Thank you guys for watching me, and stay safe everyone, and see you next time. Bye.